hustle culture and overworking yourself, that's dumb. And we shouldn't be doing that. Quick side note: if it sounds like there's a bunch of explosions or a bunch of noise going off in the background, it's because there is. Because I'm recording this on 4th of July, and everybody, is setting off fireworks and stuff. So that's what you're hearing in the back. But when I say it's stupid and we shouldn't be doing it, what I mean is it's stupid and we shouldn't be doing it. And I'm not talking about people that have to do it because they're poor, because I understand, or they have to do it in order to survive. Because I understand, because I literally did that for a time. There was a time where I worked 48 hours, 53 hours, and 56 hours. But yeah, no, like what I mean is people like, example, like on the YouTube, like these YouTube money gurus are like, work. You gotta work all the time. You gotta work and never sleep. And I grind and I work 12 hours a day. I work my 8-hour shift job, and then I go and I work 5 hours on my thing, and then I work this time and I work and I don't never sleep and I hardly get any sleep and blah, 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 blah. All that. Nah, that ain't it, bro. Like, take a break sometimes. Don't overwork yourself. Studies, there's a lot of articles that say it, but it says people that overwork themselves, like people that work more than 40 hours a week, literally are more likely to die of heart disease, stroke, the cortisol levels, increase. It said they're likely to have more, worse dieting and really bad sleep schedules. Basically all that to sum up, like, basically, you're going to be a lot more unhealthy and things are going to be harder for you in life when you overwork yourself. Even in Japan, I forgot what the term is, but it's literally a thing where you call dying of overwork. And like, that's a thing. Like, overworking yourself ain't it. It's not good for your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you think about it, for anybody that works out, this is the case too. Like, because I be working out and I'm on my rest week, but literally we take rest weeks. Literally, like a lot of people that bodybuild and work out talk about like how every like 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the person, you're basically supposed to take a rest week. You're not supposed to like keep lifting and doing heavy workout. Even there's a program called Insanity, and they literally have a thing where after you do the program for about 4 weeks, they have like a rest program where you're not really doing heavy workout and intense, calisthenics and stuff. So even in that sense, like you're supposed to work out. And if anybody's ever watched Dragon Ball Z, one of the goats of anime, even Goku talks about that. And during the Cell games, when him and Gohan come out the hyperbolic time chamber, and Vegeta and them, and they're like, we should go back in. And Goku's like, yeah, y'all can destroy y'all bodies if you want to. I'm not doing that. Goku talked about how him and Gohan were basically going to go and rest for like 3 days, then train for maybe like 3 more days, and then rest again for another 3 days. And then the Cell games, he said, yeah, y'all want to destroy your bodies? He said, go ahead. He said, there's no point in doing that. And Goku's right. He was right when he talked about that. So it applies the same with overwork, bro. Like, can you be more productive if you overwork? For a time, yeah. Like, if you put in the hours for a time of overworking yourself, yeah, you could be more productive. But in the long run, the studies actually show that for companies that basically overwork their employees regularly and consistency, productivity goes down actually, versus companies that prioritize their employees' health and mental well-being, that productivity goes up for those companies. So yeah, you could do overwork and get more stuff done for a little bit for a short amount of time, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. And like I said before, this is not for people that are poor and don't have any choice, because I know what it's like to overwork when you don't have a choice. When I was in Ohio and I was going to grad school, I worked 56 hours a week at first, because I was working a 40-hour week job, working in a hotel, and unfortunately I worked night shift, which I liked. But then I also had an internship, which I had to do 16 hours during the week. And so I would literally go from night shift, working from 11 to 7, to 8 to 4. And at first I was only had 2 days off, and that was rough. Like to the point where I don't even remember going to the grocery store. Like my brain doesn't have any recollection or memory of me ever going to the grocery store during that time. And it got so bad I think I did that for maybe about a month and a half. And then I had to take 3 days off. I had to tell my boss, I was like, nah, I got to take 3 days off. Because like trying to shift from night shift to morning shift, it was too hard because I would have Sunday because my internship hours were Monday and Tuesday. So I would have Sunday and Monday off. And then I would go to work. I would go to my internship on Tuesday and then go to work later that night. But eventually I had to have it off where I would have off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then I would go to work on Wednesday. And then I was also going to school all day on Thursday. I was in class for like 6 hours on Thursday. And then I would go to work afterwards. So I was just doing a lot. So I went from like 56 hours to 48, I believe. But like I said, I don't remember going to the grocery store. I might have went to that grocery store on Sunday. I just don't remember doing it because I'm just like, my brain has no recollection, which is funny because then I worked at a warehouse where I worked 9 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And then I worked another 8 hours on Saturday. And so literally Sunday was the only day I had off. And I definitely remember going to the grocery store because I remember I would go to the grocery store and then I would also like basically meal prep. So I would buy all the food at the grocery store, cook my meal, whatever I was having for dinner that Sunday, and then I would try to meal prep at least for 2 meals during the week that Sunday, while also trying to do laundry. And I would do like a little bit of cleaning. I did not do no heavy cleaning. I ain't gonna hold you. I was kind of messy because like literally going to the grocery store, getting the food, preparing the food for dinner, then for the whole week, then trying to do laundry, cleaning. Yeah, okay. That wasn't happening for me at the time. That was when I was working 53 hours a week. And surprisingly enough, though, like, even though that job I was working, I only stayed at that warehouse job for like 3 months. There's a place called Joanne, which is like a fabric store. But that's why I have any respect for anybody working at any warehouse like Amazon or whatever. But I lost a lot of weight there because I was at my heaviest at the time. And working at that job with meal prep and everything because you do a lot of lifting because I was a shelf stocker. Like I also I was moving around a lot. Like I would take like anywhere from like 20,000 to 25,000 steps a day. So, and I would lose about anywhere from like 13,000 to 15,000. Sorry, not 15,000, 1,300 to 1,500 calories I would burn. Bro, imagine if I burned 13,000, 50, that's crazy. But no, 1,300, 1,500 calories. But yeah, like working that job had its benefits for me. Like I definitely got more in shape. But eventually I had to quit because that's when I learned I wasn't good with, physical labor. Like in working night shift, even though I liked that job, this don't have nothing to do with overwork. I like that job. I think because I was working night shift, like that's probably why I have like permanent bags under my eyes now. Because I have permanent bags under my eyes. Like growing up, I always kind of had this like sleepy look. Like literally my high school nickname was Sleepy for a lot of people because like my eyes, like at the top of my eyelids, kind of like rest on the top of my pupils, just my normal face. But like now I definitely have like permanent bags under my eyes, and I was like, that probably has to do with me working night shift for over a year. I was working at the hotel, and then like I said, working the 56 hours a week. The 56 hours a week was so bad, I literally worked myself into a depression. Like when I was like around spring break, when I was done, or not when I was done, but around spring break, I remember I went to bed and I woke up the next day and I just was like, oh man, I'm tired. And I just slept for the rest of the day. And I thought because I had been burned out, because I had been working 56 hours or 48 hours at that time, but 56 hours a week. And I was like, okay, I'll just go to sleep, And then I remember I got up and I ate. I don't even remember if I took a shower, but I remember the next day, that's when I knew something was wrong. Because the next day I woke up and I felt the exact same as I did the day before. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. And that's because at first I was like, I'm not depressed. Like I was like, nah, I'm not depressed. There's no way I'm depressed. But when I woke up and like I was still tired the second day and I didn't want to get out of bed. Like I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do nothing but sleep. I was like, uh-oh, I think I might be depressed. And like when I say depression, like some people think depression is just being sad. And I'm like, nah, that's not depression. Depression, the best way for me to describe depression, at least how it feels like for me personally, is basically you're too tired to exist. Like existing is tiring. Being awake is tiring. Because the only other time I had ever been depressed like that was when I was a teenager. One time when I was a teenager, and that was it. So like that's how I knew I was depressed, because I was like, I've only felt this one other time. And literally when I say it's tiring to just be awake, it literally is tiring to do anything. Just being awake and alive. Like literally all you want to do is sleep. Like at least that's how it is for me. And like when I say it's hard to do anything, like if anybody's ever worked out and like lift weights and like ran, and like when you're doing the most, when you're working out, like you're going over, you're pushing your limits, you're going over your personal records and all that. That's what it feels like just for like getting up out of bed and like taking a shower and brushing your teeth and trying to eat food, not trying to cook food, just eating food. That's how it feels, and it's crazy. It's crazy, like. That's how it feels when you're depressed. But yeah, so and I had to go to therapy. I remember because I went to therapy because luckily at my time school offered free therapy for people that were enrolled. And this before I dropped out or flunked out or whatever. And yeah, she was like, you just have situational depression, which I was thankful for, because I was like, my goodness, I'm glad I don't have like clinical depression, or like I forget what the other one where they basically people can hide it. They can act like they're normal, but they're depressed on the inside. So it was because of my circumstances, and luckily, like me basically being done with school, because I ended up flunking out of school, I ended up quitting my job, and then my parents came and visited me later, which really brightened my mood, because like I said, I lived by myself in Ohio. So, but yeah, man, overwork, it ain't it. Even for my Christians out there, the Lord talks about how God rested on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? And in a particular verse I'll be thinking about is when the Sadducees and Pharisees were talking to Jesus, and he was talking to Jesus because him and his disciples were gathering grain and food to eat. And they're like, why are you gathering grain on the Sabbath? You know you're not supposed to do that on this day. And Jesus basically told Pharisees, he was like, God made, the Sabbath for man, not the man for Sabbath. So basically what that means is God made the Sabbath specifically for man to rest. So, I mean, if God, the creator of the universe, is, he rested on the seventh day, and he wants us to rest, like, it's okay to rest. Don't listen to a lot of these YouTubers who are like, never rest, never sleep, we just go, we just grunt, we just hustle. Like, nah, that ain't it. And then some people, they brag about, oh, look how many hours I work, because the internet likes to do, what's it called? Where it's like an oppression Olympics. Sometimes, where they're like, look who has it harder. It's me. I have it harder. So a lot of people in there, it's like, oh, you're only working 40 hours a week. Well, I'm working 45. Oh, you're working 45. I'm working 48 hours. You're not working as many hours as me. And that's dumb. Don't do that. Like I say, get some rest. Take a break. Don't overwork yourself. It's better for your health. It's better for your body. It's literally just better for you in general, in life overall. So that's all I got to say. All right. Peace out.